Okay.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Connect Her podcast. We've got a connected conversation today and I'm really excited to be able to introduce our guest. So if you are listening to us on the podcast, thank you for inviting us into your life for today. Whether you're out walking around or you might be sitting at your office desk having a bit of a listen in to the podcast, or you might even be watching the recording. But thank you very much for having us. We appreciate you having Connect Her in your life today. So I have a really great pleasure today of introducing somebody that I've met many years ago, believe it or not, and our paths went separate ways, and then they crossed and separate and crossed, and we keep running into each other, which I think is a great thing. I have Anita Kilkenny with me. Now, Anita is a VA with Holistic VA, but she is also the new and I'm sure proud owner of VA Directory, which is a directory service for VAs and for also people looking for a specific VA. But we're going to get way into more of that down the track. So we've got to find out a little bit more about Anita as well. So Anita's actually been a VA for over 25 years. And I don't think people even knew what a VA was back 25 years ago. It was something very unusual. You've been involved with the VA directory for about 20 years or even more, and you've just become the new owner. So we want to hear all about that. You've got a Bachelor of Business as your background, and I believe that you are also a tour guide as well. So Anita Kilkenny, welcome to the Connect Her podcast and our connected conversations. I'm really happy that you're with us today, and I want to find out about your tour guide life.
Thank you, Lee, for having me. This is really exciting for me as well. I don't do too many podcasts, but I'm glad to be on board and have a chat with you today. Yes, I was a tour guide around Europe for the 18 to 35s back when I was in my early 20s, and for a company called Top Deck. And good fun, not a lot of sleep, a lot of drinking, a lot of sightseeing.
A lot of wild nights, I'm sure.
A lot of wild nights, yeah. Had a great time. Loved
Fantastic.
it, and still in touch with a lot of the people that I used to work with. So because most of them were Aussies and Kiwis, we catch up once a year for a reunion in Australia. So it's
Fantastic.
a thing that we still do, even 20, 30 years later.
Wow. You would have had to have been super organised in that role, I would assume, because you've got to make sure that people are on the bus, no matter how hungover they are, or how, under the weather they're feeling, and also making sure you get to places on time. So there'd be quite a bit of organisation, I would assume, in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. And also that was back in the day when they had different currencies for every country. So we had to have different currencies and, swapping the money over and all that kind of stuff as well. So, and scheduling, we had to call ahead because there was no mobiles in that day. So we had to find phone boxes to call the campsites and the museums and things so that we could book in a group. So all of that had to be planned well ahead before arriving. And we did it all by payphone instead of mobile phone. So it was a lot.
Payphone and telex machines and all sorts of things.
Yeah,
I was just talking about those last week. So incredible. So so you've been a VA before probably the term VA was even coined. So tell me about how you got into the role and your business.
Right. Yes, it was back in the days, it was called a home-based secretary.
Right.
And believe it or not, that was in the mid-90s. I'll take one step back. The reason why I registered a business back in 1994 was because I was working for the SEC and I was temping for them. So, and they wanted me to go direct instead of via the agency. So I registered a business. I spoke to some of my friends there and I said, what can I call myself? I've got no idea what, business name, never even thought about it. And one of the guys said, what about THB? And I said, what's that? And he goes, Too Hard Basket. And I go, awesome. I actually really like that name. So that was my first business name, was Too Hard, or THB Business Solutions, or Secretarial Services. It was one of the two because I had both.
Yeah.
And so that's how I actually started. So I wasn't really a business owner. I was sort of bypassing the agency thing so that the SEC wouldn't pay for agency fees. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I did have a couple of clients, sporadically between then and when I started full time in 2000. But I did have a computer. Obviously, I was a bit of a computer geek, and I researched VAs, or home-based businesses as they were called back then. So I found Kathie Thomas. She was online already. And there was a lady in the United States, Linda Anderson, and I think she was just called Home-Based Secretary. I think that was the name of her business. So I knew, awesome, there were businesses around that offered secretarial services from home. So that planted the seed. And because I had the background, the business background, I knew that possibly down the future somewhere I'd like to work from home. So that seed was planted very early.
And was it something that was difficult to set up back in 2000? Because look, I know that I came to Melbourne because I was brought over by a company to set their company up. And back then, which I can't even remember now, I've been here 23 years, so it might have been about 96 or 98 or something. Communication back and forth was difficult from Perth to Melbourne, and very few people had the internet or had access to fully blown computers at home. It wasn't really available easily. Did you find that a little bit difficult?
It's a long time ago.
I know.
Stretching the memory there, Lee.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how I found those couple of clients. It must have been online. I don't think I was networking back then, because there was still, when did I start networking? Going to functions. I think I was pregnant with Lachlan, so it would have been 20 years ago when I started the networking, but sort of before then, it's a bit hard to remember, actually. Yeah. But they obviously found me. I mean, I was on a couple of chat groups back then. So whether it was through there, I did place an advertising in the Yellow Pages. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. So very old school Yellow Pages. Yeah. So I paid for a little ad, and actually, no, it is, because it is. That's how they found me, through the Yellow Pages.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes, because you could have different sizes on the Yellow Pages, and when they opened it up, you had all the ads, and then you had all the little listings as well. Yeah. I remember that so well.
Yeah. Oh God, showing my age there.
I know. I am too. Let me tell you. So obviously, did people understand what a home-based secretary was? Like, I mean, it virtually tells you what it is, but did they understand the level of what you could do, and that you didn't have to come into their office, they didn't have to employ you? Did they understand that back then?
Look, some did, some didn't. They sort of got the concept of it, but it was back then where a lot of businesses regarded it as a hobby or a backyarder. You weren't serious, like it wasn't a serious job to do. But there were some people that understood it. So like when I started full-time in 2000, there were quite a lot of people that were using VAs and did get what they did, and it was really good. And I was very lucky, because I befriended someone, it must have been through VA Directory, when I joined VA Directory as an official paid person. And she was a VA, but her husband owned a bakery. I don't know if you've heard of Whitting's Bakery. They make awesome stuff. And anyway, she left the VA industry to join her husband in the bakery, and so she offered me some of her clients. So I sort of fell into it quite easily in that respect. So I had some clients under my belt, which was really cool. And then I built the business from there, going to networking events. So
fantastic.
yeah.
So now we'll fast forward because home-based secretary is now very much known as a VA, or a virtual assistant. So can you sort of share what a VA does and how do they work?
Okay. Well, obviously we're virtual. Even though we're real people, we do work virtually and only from home. I mean, there are a few VAs that do come out to their businesses, people's businesses, and I did that for a while as well. I had a couple of clients that worked in the city, and I used to take my son with me. Very progressive there, take my son, and you know, I mean, I was still breastfeeding back in those days, and changing nappies and everything, and he'd sleep while I work, and it was sort of like part of the deal. I don't know how many people got away with that back then. I don't even know if people get away with it now, even. I'm not quite sure. But that was what I did. And yeah, I forgot the question now.
So with a VA, what do they do?
What do we do? That's right. Okay.
And
how do we work?
And how do they work?
That's right. Sorry about that, Lee.
That's all right. I do that. I always go off on
a tangent and forget.
What was I talking about? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, not at all.
Oh dear. So how do we work? So basically we work from home. I mean, we do what anyone would do, in an office, except we do it from home. And I think what the past 18 months has actually shown a lot more people is that it is possible that you can be productive and work from home. I think that was one of the big hurdles for us as VAs, was trying to educate clients, and probably the more corporate, because a lot of VAs do work for corporate clients, is that we are productive at home, even though you can't see us. And there's this big trust issue, I think, that people, and control, obviously, that that people need to let go of somehow, to be able to trust someone that works from home.
You really hit the nail on the head, because you're right. The last 18 months have made a huge difference with corporations and employers, where if they wanted their work to keep going, they have to trust their employee that they're going to keep working while they're at home. I've worked from a home office, I don't know, since 1998, because the company that I worked for was based in Western Australia. So there was that level of trust, but you actually find that you do more than what you would do, because you're not commuting, and we know all that sort of stuff. So so you're right. I think it's actually opened it up a lot for it's particularly business owners now, that I can have a VA. They don't have to come in, because some of my employees don't come in either now. So it's a bit of a change of mindset, really, isn't it?
It totally is. I was actually talking to a VA colleague of mine up in New South Wales, and we catch up every now and again to sort of talk about what's going on in the industry. And we were both laughing at that, saying that we're so more productive at home. That I forgot what I was going to say, that we I have lost it. You know what? I've done it again. You're going to have to
all right.
Out.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're more productive at home. We are more productive. I mean, that's what we were saying. I used to, when I was working in the city, I'd spent the first 2 hours just chatting with people. So I'd do my little PR run, my networking, and I'd go around and have a chat to everyone, have a coffee and all that. So there's no way that anyone working in an office is working 100% of the time. I mean, there'd have to be machines to be able to do that. So even though we do that at home, I think we're way more productive when we're actually sitting down in front of our laptops, because there are no distractions. And I let my phone go to voicemail because if I get distracted with the phone, then it's going to take me ages to actually get refocused back into my work. So I think we're more focused at home, and we're more productive definitely at working from home alone, rather than in an office where you've got all those distractions of being able to chat and you know, talk to people and catch up and all that kind of stuff. I found it very social. I found working in the office social.
Yeah, very social. But like with me, working on my business, I have my coffee in a thermos so it doesn't go cold. And, you know, I've got certain rituals that I do that I'm not going to go out and do anything until I finish this task or whatever. Like, I'm not on time clock for a client where, you know, VAs would, I assume, would be. They have to, you know, be diligent in what they're doing for their clients. So, you know, if they go off and hang the washing out, well, that doesn't go on the client's time.
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah. So, but, you know, for me, if I want to go hang the washing out, I'm not on a time clock as such, but I am a time clock for myself so that I stay focused. So, yeah,
absolutely. Look, we don't always work by the clock. And that's one of the things as well, is that, you know, VAs can package up certain tasks and stuff and give a package to, you know, arrange a package, tailor a package for their clients rather than watching the clock, because I don't like watching the clock. I think
likes watching the clock?
It's tedious. And, you know, if you can package up services for a client, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're still paying for one, you know, paying one amount. And, you know, we do it in, you know, if we can do it in 5 minutes or 20 minutes, I mean, it's the value of the package. So but there are a lot of VAs that still do hourly work. I mean, some of my clients like to pay by the hour as well. And that's fine. So
which is an old sort of mindset, you know, dollar for hour sort of thing. So I know that when I first started Connect Her, I was watching my pennies because I had to, you know, set up a website and all sorts of things. And it wasn't until I started to get slightly established that I realized that I needed help. And it was like the tiniest thing, which was taking all of the registers that come from our meetings and putting them into our database. And I used to have a pile on my desk that would just pile up every month from all the meetings around, you know, all of the meetings. They would just pile up. And every time another one went on the pile, my shoulders just went down, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to get to that. It wasn't until I actually engaged a VA and said, look, I know it's not a big thing, but this is all I need to get done, because that's all I could really afford at the time. What a load off my shoulders it was. So when somebody is, you know, you might think, oh, I can't afford it. But when someone is about to engage a VA, what do they look for, and what are the sort of things that they can ask about? What do they ask for?
Okay. Look, there's a lot of ways that you can use a VA, and like I did a little bit of a study a couple of years ago about, you know, what are the non-core tasks that people do, and it actually added up to like 10 to 15 hours a week that people do on unbillable tasks. And I thought, wow, that is just a lot of time that people are wasting, where they could probably actually, like if you're a coach, for example, and you do charge your clients anywhere between, I mean, some of them charge like $200 or more, or anything like that. So if you're charging that amount of money for your clients, then hiring a VA at $40 or $50 an hour is so much more economical, and it makes more sense really, rather than you spending, you know, the 10 to 15 hours doing your own admin, where you could be actually out working for clients. So I get that it's really hard for it's really hard sometimes to work that out. You're in that catch-22 position of, well, I can't afford it, but can I not afford to have someone come in? Because it depends on what your own hourly rate is as well. I mean, I'm sorry, we're going back to rates, but I guess that's sort of what we use as a basis to outsource or to charge as well. So, I mean, it could be the smallest thing as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major. You can get someone to data input like you have, Lee. I mean, it doesn't have to be any major tasks. It's just taking a bit of that pressure off.
And it doesn't have to be everything either.
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
take. I've actually used 2 VAs now for 2 different things. So because they've got expertise in different areas. But if you take the scenario of the coach that you were just talking about, and as you say, some coaches can charge up to $200 an hour if they're doing, or more. But if you look at $200, that's $3,000 a week. Did you say 15 hours a week?
Yeah, 10 to 15. Yeah.
So that's about $3,000 a week that they could be billing clients.
Exactly.
And,
so why wouldn't you get a VA? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, no, like you said, at the start it's a bit hard, but then you're still not able to build your own business because you're still doing the admin.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, and it's right. Do you build the business because when you start a business, you've got one resource. It's either time or money. You haven't got both.
That's
and
right.
So you've got to juggle which one. So what would somebody that wants to engage a VA, what would they look for, and what sort of things would they ask to be able to engage a VA?
Okay. Well, first, I think they need to work they need to work out what they want to outsource. So it's spending a bit of time, and this is what I ask clients to do if they're not quite sure, is to just sit down and work out what they do every day, and even write it down, sort of like a log of tasks that you do. And then you can go back and have a look and say, okay, well, only I can do this I can outsource, I can do this, and sort of work out what you can, what you can't. And you can always ask someone for referrals for a VA, but then not everyone might suit that VA either. So referrals are great, and obviously they're awesome because we all like referrals. But one VA may be good for you, but the other may not, and things like that. So you need to find that really good balance between how you get on with a VA, and then in that respect, then you need to have a chat with them. So it's important to have a chat to see how you work together, if you've got the same goals and dreams and ideas, and if you are a good fit basically, and got the same skills. And like you said, Lee, you can't always you may not just have one VA, you might have a couple of VAs that have certain or different skill sets. So, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having more than one VA. I mean, you don't have to be loyal to one person. And that's the beauty of us, because we do specialize. Many VAs do specialize, and there are a lot that are generalists, and they will do a whole lot of stuff. But it's a good idea to have actually more than one, because what if they get sick as well or go on holidays? Then you've got
exactly.
So it's that thing as well.
Well, as I said, I've got 2 that do completely different roles within, because the first one that I engaged, she couldn't do what I needed. That wasn't her specialty. And so she said, oh, look, I know somebody else. And that's how it came about, which was fantastic. Because there's also out there, social media managers now that work with you, particularly because social media is so huge in small to medium business. It's our marketing tool. Absolutely. So and then you've got other people that do other things. So we are going to come back to that. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
And we're back. So we have got Anita Kilkenny, who is the new owner of VA Directory, but also Holistic VA as well. And being a VA before VA was a word, Now, Anita, tell me a little bit about the VA directory. How does it work? And if I was wanting to outsource somebody, what process would I do to go to the VA directory?
Okay. The VA directory has got two arms, I guess you'd call it. One is for clients, so clients can go on there and place a job lead. So there is a tab when you go to the website that it says for clients, and you post a job lead. There's a little bit of a blurb there explaining what VA does and how they can help you. Fill out the form, and then it'll come to me. So I'll get the email and I'll email that out to my network of VAs. And then once they receive that, they'll have a look and see if they're suitable or they can do the tasks. They'll come back to me and I will give them the details of the client, and then they'll work it out between them how whether they're a good fit or not. So I'm sort of more the middleman rather than a matcher, but I won't necessarily send out the first VA that comes back to me either, because I'm getting to know everyone as well, and I won't send out the first person that necessarily gets back to me. So people with the best fit I'll send out, and the rest is up to them to work out whether they'll work together or not. But
now that's really good to know, because sorry, I've just cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's really good to know that you're not putting out a form and then you could end up with 20 or 30 VAs all contacting you. You're actually vetting all of that, making sure that it is as close a match as possible, which I think is fantastic. I didn't realize that. I think that is, because that step is, like you can go onto Fiverr or whatever, those sort of. And then you get 100 people or coming back, and it's like, oh, which one? But you're actually, who's on your directory, so you're going through it, which is just a fantastic benefit.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, there's nothing worse than getting bombarded by, like you said, 20, 30, all on there, and you get a couple of hundred people applying for the jobs there. No, look, as part of that form, there is one of the questions that says, how many VAs would you like to hear from? And most people say about three or four. Some say 10. It's like, 10. That's a lot of VAs that you want to chat to. Do you really want to talk to that many? But I mean, if you want to, that's fine. But I actually find that many clients will start working with the first one they talk to, which, I mean, obviously the VAs have got pretty good sales skills, and maybe they just get on. I mean, of course, there's lots of different reasons. So I think it's important to speak to a few different ones just to see what it's like, what they're like, and asking good questions. How long they've been a VA for, what are their skills, what are their training, what kind of education have they had, training and skills and all that kind of stuff. And client testimonials, which you'll always find on their website anyway. So it's always important for the client to suss out the VA as well. And we suss out the clients as well. I mean, as soon as we find out, if we're applying for something, then we'll go and check out everyone's socials and websites and, hop onto their LinkedIn and all that as well. So I think it's important to do your own due diligence both ways. It's a two-way street.
It's so good that there's you in the middle as well, which I think is fantastic.
Yes, well, exactly. So, I mean, if anyone's got any questions or needs a hand with anything or any advice, then, I'm always available on email to have a chat.
Yeah.
And if
so you've got where the clients can come in, but what about, because we've probably got VAs listening too.
Yeah.
How does it work for a VA?
Okay, well, on the website, we've also got the For VAs tab. So we've got three levels of membership. So we've got a free level. Then so that's level 1. Level 2 is the job leads, includes job leads and a directory. Like we've got a VA directory actually on the website, so you can place your own listing on there. And then there's the third level, which includes training. And Kathie Thomas still does the training side of things, and that includes membership as well. So most people pick level 2 because it does include the job leads and other bits and pieces that, other benefits for the VAs. So, yeah, they can just join through there. We've got a Facebook page. There's guest blogging opportunities. I'm looking at developing, offering more benefits and services like Connect Her.
Yes.
There's opportunities to become a leader, which is fantastic. So that's just a little side thing that VAs can do, and discounts for various courses and things. So I used to be the social media mentor for Freelance University over in Canada. So as an exclusive benefit for members, they get a 15% discount off any courses that they sign up to. So things like that. So there's good benefits, and plus, the job leads for the VAs, which most of them do sign up for.
Job leads would be just fantastic, that they know that they've got people coming through regularly via that. So outsourcing to grow our businesses. How, I mean, we've touched on it, but can you just sort of, how do we save money? Like, we are spending money for a VA, but we're also going to be, how do we save it for our business as well by engaging a VA?
Well, you're basically saving time and money by having us there, because we can do all that work that you don't want to do or can't do or don't have time to do or cringe at, or anything like that. I mean, it's just like us outsourcing our plumbing or our housework, which I do, although I haven't had a house cleaner for a while now.
I know, they're not allowed in.
I know.
I had to clean my own bathroom. Oh no.
So it's the same kind of thing, I mean, I'd rather pay someone to come and clean my house so that I can work or spend time with my family. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. And to grow your business, there's no way that you could possibly grow your business by doing everything yourself. I mean, who wants to do bookkeeping and posting social media posts and working out funnels and the technical side of, does MailChimp talk to my website? Does it talk to my CRM and all that kind of stuff? It's like, why would you want to spend hours doing that? And that in itself is saving you money, but it's also saving you your stress levels as well, and your sanity, basically.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there's so many. It's not just monetary benefits. It's the whole lot that's going to be, there's stuff that money can't pay for or buy, or whatever the saying is that for it. So it's a bigger picture thing.
Oh, for sure. Now, Anita, you have been involved with the VA directory for over 20 years, but in March of this year, you became the owner of VA directory.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
We'd love to hear a little bit more about what you were doing for the 20 years and what you plan to do moving forward.
Okay. Okay. That is a big question, Lee.
I
know. Look, it's really exciting owning VA directory. I mean, Kathie owned it for such a long time, and I know that she wanted to retire, because her hubby retired, and that's the reason why she sold it. No, she didn't give it to me. She sold it to me.
If only.
I know. Wouldn't that be nice? So, I mean, she's enjoying life now, doing her photography and all that kind of stuff. And actually, it's fun taking over something different. It's just, I mean, even though it's the same industry, it's just something a little bit different than working directly with clients. And I'm always going to work with my clients. I mean, I keep getting approaches, people calling me or emailing me and coming through the website, wanting to work with me. So I'll always do the client work, but this is just, it's something a little bit different. And I'm looking at, expanding it, getting more VAs on board, nurturing them, looking after them, getting the more benefits on board with that side of things. And also talking to clients and getting more clients in for them. It's just, I don't know, it's exciting and it's good. And it's something that, obviously being a VA, I can do that forever. I mean, not that I'll work forever, but, I can do it anywhere, so if I don't end up, I want to travel. I still want to travel. So I have a laptop and travel, and I can actually manage all this, wandering around Australia eventually. So.
Oh, my husband and I were talking about that yesterday.
Yes.
So he wants to retire, and I said, oh, well, I can take Connect Her with me. I can't if I'm running meetings, but, I can run the business because I still run meetings myself, but I can run the Connect Her business in our caravan as we trip around. So we were only talking about it yesterday. So interesting that,
yes.
And there's so many people out there that, that they do want to travel. They do want to be able to still have an income come in to be able to, finance what they're doing. And VA work would be just an awesome opportunity for people. Yeah. Because you don't have to have a physical office. You don't have to have a printer. All you really need is, the internet and your computer.
Exactly. My printer died last week or the other week. So I've got a little inkjet thing now, but my laser printer died. But exactly, you don't need all that kind of stuff. I mean, a laptop and an internet, and we can work anywhere. And I think that's where we're sort of heading. A lot more people are going to be doing that. A lot more people will be wanting VAs to work for them. It's interesting. There's a lot of jobs on Seek coming through that are actually full-time work at home jobs. But I'm thinking that possibly they're not necessarily full-time jobs, because I don't think they understand that you could probably do that work in half the time and be part-time. So there's a lot of those kind of jobs opening up for VAs as well.
For sure.
It's really exciting, yeah.
And it's also, what sort of people do you find are coming through? Because I know that there was a bit of an insurgence of VAs with the lockdowns last year. Are you finding people are more coming from that secretarial background or real estate background, or what sort of backgrounds do you see they're coming from?
Yeah, a lot of them are still admin, secretarial. There's some that don't have an admin background. It's sort of like, oh, okay, I don't know how you're going to work that out. But most do. I mean, obviously they've got the skill sets, and they're the ones that will gravitate to what we do. But I mean, there's web designers, and web designers don't have that admin background necessarily. So there are the more techie ones that are coming through as well.
Yeah.
So it is handy to have them as well, because I mean, back end of websites, I mean, I know a little bit, but when it comes to coding and all that, you do want someone that's a little bit more techie. So I have my IT lady, unfortunately, and she was kind of a VA at one stage. She's stranded in Hawaii, and she lives in Canberra.
Oh, what a dreadful place to be stranded.
I know, it's a horrible place to get stranded, but she misses her family. But she's been there since the start of last year. So but yes,
poor thing.
I know.
That would be really tough.
It is really tough. Yeah.
Anita, we have come to the end of our connected conversation already. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to put all the links on our podcast notes. But if you'd like to get in touch with Anita, you can head to the website, which is vadirectory.net. So that's really important to remember, .net. But as I said, we are going to pop that into our show notes. You can also head over to Facebook, to the Facebook page, which is VA Directory Net, and the same with Twitter. and you can also head over to Instagram, which is VA Directory. And if you'd like to connect with Anita on LinkedIn, it is linkedin.com, and it's Anita, Kilkenny. I am so looking forward to where you are taking your new business, because you've got such an amazing background, and I think you're just going to be like the perfect person to keep it strong and keep it growing. So congratulations on your achievement and purchasing VA Directory, and I wish you every success.
Thank you so much, Lee, and same to you. I'm looking forward to seeing Connect Her grow as well around Australia, which will be exciting for you too.
Absolutely. So we've got a lot in common.
Yes, we do, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us again on our Connect Her podcast this episode. And please, if you've enjoyed this episode, or you know a VA or someone that needs a VA, share this episode so that they can find out more about us. You can also head to our website, connecther.com.au, and you can find out further details about Connect Her. And don't forget also to be able to connect with Anita. You can go to the website vadirectory.net. Until next time, happy networking, and please do stay connected. Oh, now I can't find the thing again.